Mr. Arstenbek Davletkeldiev, Director, State Agency on Environment Protection and Forestry of Kyrgyzstan. Mr. Davletkeldiev, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I think that I can speak frankly, ladies, gentlemen, Madam President, that we are now coming to the end of our meeting for today. It looks as if we're approaching the end. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me first of all to express my gratitude to the government and people of Denmark for organizing this conference, which has the chance to become truly historic. The eyes of the peoples of the planet today are now directed at Copenhagen. The decisions that will be taken here will determine the destiny of billions of people and the future of our planet. The scale of climate change-related problems is gigantic. It affects the environment, and as a consequence, it also affects the economy and the social sphere, thereby jeopardizing the achievement of our development goals. 2 years after Bali have shown us how difficult and complicated these issues are. Those 2 years have once again shown us the need for urgent, concerted action. Kyrgyzstan is one of the most mountainous countries of the world. Over 94% of the territory of our country is comprised of vulnerable, fragile mountain economic systems. Over the past century, the average annual temperatures in our country have risen by 0.8 degrees. This is a higher rise than the global average. According to our experts, by 2050, the area of glaciers in Kyrgyzstan will be halved, and by the year 2100, the glaciers could disappear altogether. The mountain glacier peaks are also commonly called the third polar ice cap of the Earth. We're extremely concerned about global climate change and its impact on mountain ecosystems. Intensive glacier melt has caused, first of all, a reduction in water resources, a rapid increase in landslides, mudslides, and floods, leading to many casualties, and has also done considerable damage to our economy. We have lost biodiversity, we have seen land degradation, and there have been other adverse effects of global climate change. Within the framework of this current negotiating process on climate change, we have been drawing attention to the problems of mountainous countries. In particular, the delegation of Kyrgyzstan made this point during the plenary sessions in Bangkok and Copenhagen. On our initiative, during the negotiating session in Barcelona in November this year, negotiations took place with representatives of a number of mountainous countries regarding the need to establish a coalition of mountain countries. After Barcelona, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic started official consultations with the Ministries of Foreign Affairs of some mountainous countries on the question of establishing a coalition of small mountainous countries. And we're pleased that this initiative has already found understanding and support on the part of a number of mountainous countries. In this regard, I welcome the proposal of the Prime Minister of Nepal made at this conference on the creation of an alliance of mountainous countries. We've also initiated a ministerial meeting of mountainous countries in the second half of 2010, bringing together ministers of the environment. This idea was supported by the meeting of the Himalayan countries in Kathmandu in September this year as part of the preparatory conference for this Conference of the Parties. The goal of this meeting will be to address the needs of the mountainous countries in the post-Copenhagen period, especially capacity building, also on the issue of adaptation, mitigation, financial resources, and technology transfer, taking into account the specifics of mountain ecosystems. Adaptation and mitigation issues of mountainous countries are our priority and are closely linked to issues of sustainable development. Many mountain rivers are transboundary, and a reduction that's been forecast of surface water runoff as a result of climate change will result in cross-border cooperation difficulties between upstream and downstream countries. These concerns were raised by the President of Kyrgyzstan, President Bakiyev, at the Central Village Summit in Almaty in April this year. Our President called on the countries of the region and international community to pay greater attention to problems of mountain countries, in particular the conservation and expansion of mountain forests. Mountain forests play a vital role in water conservation, water regulation, and in water supply to downstream territories and countries. In this context, we believe that it's extremely important to develop and implement a very special global program in mountain forests, conservation of mountain forests, restoration and reforestation of mountain slopes. The Clean Development Mechanism is crucial in achieving sustainable, carbon-free or low-carbon development. Kyrgyzstan has already raised the need to lift restrictions on the use of hydropower under the Clean Development Mechanism. This is especially important for small, landlocked, mountainous countries. The benefits from using not just small but also medium and large-scale hydropower plants for the CDM are obvious, the Clean Development Mechanism. In our view, on one hand, measures on mass reforestation of mountain ecosystems and support to local communities should be taken, and on the other hand, we need to make increased use of the hydro capacity of mountain rivers to reduce and reverse the negative processes on mountain ecosystems degradation caused by climate change. At present, Kyrgyzstan is implementing a number of projects to address these issues with support provided by the Global Environment Facility of the World Bank, the European Union, and donor countries. And I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to them for that. Dear participants, the above picture gives a very concise, summarized outline of the problems of mountainous ecosystems in Kyrgyzstan affected by climate change. But they are typical of many mountain nations. Obviously, considerable financial resources will be required to address all of these problems. And in the new financial architecture after Copenhagen, which is being discussed today, there will be a need to provide separate funding for mountainous countries. In this regard, we deem it appropriate to consider as a priority matter the establishment of a special fund to support mountain countries to implement targeted global programs on adaptation, mitigation, on mountain forest systems, biodiversity, prevention of natural disasters, and support to mountain communities. In conclusion, I'd like to emphasize that only together can we solve our problems. The time for long, beautiful speeches has long passed. There's time to act consistently, to act effectively. Thank you very much for your attention.